Well, folks, we are back at this beautiful executive home in Elkhart along the river here, and with me is Dave Helmuth of Locke Construction, who is in charge of this wonderful remodel job here. Dave, you kind of like being in charge, don't you?
Oh, sure, I guess. I just make sure it gets done, that's all.
That's the main thing. Getting the job done is what Locke Construction does. Last week, Dave, we talked about what you were doing upstairs. And this week, a little bit of an idea for the folks at home, what you're doing here downstairs. Now, a lot of the work in this home, and this home, by the way, has been totally gutted. But a lot of the home, the changes, I would think, were more aesthetic. And then there are other changes, which we'll look at, that were really necessary, right?
Yeah.
And here in the kitchen, a lot of the changes here are probably more aesthetic, aren't they?
Yes, they're more aesthetic. The kitchen cabinets have stayed for the most part. But the only thing that got moved was the fridge used to be in that corner, and the stove, double stove, used to be over here.
Why do you change like that? Why does a homeowner want to change something that simple, huh?
Well, where's the table? If you're at the table, what do you need? You're going to need something out of the fridge, not out of the oven.
Makes sense to me. And speaking of the table, behind the table there, what a nice touch to have a fireplace like that, huh?
It is beautiful.
You're going to keep that in here, aren't you?
Yes, definitely.
Now the flooring here in the kitchen will be what, a laminate, or what do you have here?
Hardwood here. This is all we have it. This was original. The hardwood in here stays, but over there in that room, not so much.
Let's go take a look at that other room, which is really would you call this maybe the great room? But we were talking about the aesthetics and also some of the other changes that really had to be done. And Dave, this is an area here. Why don't you walk over this way and show the folks at home again a little bit about what you're doing and why.
Well, you can tell this room is big. It's the great room of the house. It's 20 foot across, and there's no supporting beam underneath, and so it actually went down 2 inches, 2.5 inches.
Over time, it went down in the middle.
2.5 inches. So we tore up all the had tore up all the subfloor, and if I can get a hold of it here. Yeah.
There you go. Look at this. What are we seeing down here?
They had to be shimmed. We had engineers come out and look at it, and they're strong enough. It just with such a big span. So what they decided on it was just to shim it. So that's what we went with.
So you didn't have to shim the entire great room floor, but just the section in the middle that began. You did the whole.
It's been shimmed from 2 inches here in the middle to nothing out at the end.
Okay. So it was a tapered shim.
Yes, tapered shim, but took time.
Yeah, I bet it did.
Remodel.
And it is level.
Yes.
Okay, that's the important thing. Now, behind us.
It's going on with all hardwood floor in here, so it has to be level now.
Super. Behind us here, describe what folks are looking at behind this.
Behind the plastic is a wall of cabinets. Here in the center is the fireplace, which is going to be all new limestone hearth. It'll be beautiful once it's all done. A
lot of changes here. We mentioned, over 60 or 70 windows, replacement windows here in the home. And the flooring alone must be, my goodness, you're talking about, 3 levels of different flooring? That has to be quite a job in and of itself.
Oh, yeah. A lot.
Any challenges when you get into a situation like this, as opposed to maybe doing a single project that maybe is just one single item? You've got various items, you've got flooring, you've got ceilings, you've got, you name it, you've got it here. What are the biggest challenges?
Well, anytime you get into remodeling, you're going to run into something you didn't expect.
It always happens.
It always happens. But the one thing and that nice thing about Locke Construction is we do anything. I mean, we do go from when we show up at a job, we don't do specialize in just drywall or whatever. We do everything.
Maybe we can mention this, and if there's a problem here, let me know, Dave. But this job, which is expansive, probably the biggest you've ever been involved in, really came from a smaller job that Locke had done and taken great care in. Maybe somebody else would have thought, it's a small job, let's not give it our best, we got to send our crew somewhere else, let's just kind of get it done. No, you gave it your best effort, and then you end up with a job as big as this.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. Sometimes the smallest things add up to big. I mean,
Well, this is a company, folks, it's been around a while, and as the slogan says, Locke Construction, you'll love what they build for you. I tell you, it's more than just a slogan. It really is something that they truly believe in. You'll love what they'll do for you, big or small. And Dave, once again, good seeing you, and boy, you got to enjoy the view as you're working here today.
The view is beautiful. I just wish I could just go throw a fishing pole out in the river.
I hear you. Hey, we'll be back with more on Fresh in just a bit. Stay tuned.